The Case Against Sugar is a continuation of Gary Taubes' two earlier nutritional classics, Good Calories, Bad Calories, and Why We Get Fat. His basic message then as now is that bad science and the processed food industry colluded to make fat public enemy number one, while neglecting the real health dangers posed by carbohydrates and sugar. Like a preacher who won't be silenced, he continues his campaign against carbohydrates and takes direct aim at the nastiest one, sugar, which he argues is the principal cause of obesity, diabetes, coronary heart disease, Alzheimer's, and many other chronic diseases. It's a simple message with no shades of gray. Taubes comes out swinging right from the start. He states, "The purpose of this book is to present the case against sugar, both sucrose and high fructose corn syrup, as the principal cause of the chronic diseases that are most likely to kill us, or at least accelerate our demise." Right on, Mr. Taubes, you tell them! Is it journalism or advocacy? I would say it's a bit of both. He has a point of view, and just like everyone in the health journalism game, he finds the evidence and the passion to support his conclusion. Taubes argues that starting in the 1950s, the sugar industry reacted to negative signals regarding sugar safety from the US government and the American Medical Association. Since then, they have sought to promote and defend sugar by whatever means necessary. Sounds similar to the misinformation campaigns from the cigarette industry, right? In the 60s and 70s, the sugar industry managed to deflect attention by positioning fats as the culprit in the rising rates of obesity and heart disease. That point of view persists through today and continues to be endorsed by the American Heart Association. Taubes ties his theories together by arguing that insulin resistance is the primary cause of diseases like coronary heart disease, diabetes, and Alzheimer's disease, and that sugar is the primary cause of insulin resistance. Case closed. But is it really that simple? No, it isn't, and even Taubes eventually concedes as much. Toward the end of the book, he does soften his stance a little, and admits a more balanced view would see the issues as multifactorial, where things like excess calorie intake, physical inactivity, smoking, alcohol, poor nutrition, and various other diet and lifestyle factors also play a critical role. The book is fundamentally a statement from the prosecution. Some have argued that facts in his favor are overstated, and those that support the defense, kind of hard to imagine there is one for sugar, are omitted, minimized, or misrepresented. That's likely very true. But so what? It would be no different for a book called The Case Against Processed Food or The Case Against Vegetable Oil. We all know who the dietary villains are, and don't care much to hear from the defense because the prosecution, although they may overplay their hand at times, make a compelling case. The verdict most people will come to after reading this book will be sugar. Guilty as charged. Will any of this change our behavior? Will we choose a glass of water instead of a can of Coke? An apple instead of a donut? Come on, let's not get carried away here. For many, the answer is no, because it's all too easy to ignore the long-term health consequences of the bad dietary choices we make today. Make that a double scoop of cookies and cream ice cream, please, and add some chocolate sprinkles on top. So, where do we end up? Taubes presents a great deal of circumstantial evidence regarding the dangers of sugar. There is no smoking gun, however, because there is no perfect and accurate way to measure the impact of sugar intake over a short period of time, let alone a lifetime. However, sugar ranks up there with other dietary questionables, vegetable oil, processed food, simple carbohydrates, and fast food. No one's saying more is better, and there are a lot of reasons to be very concerned. But how concerned should you be? That's a personal choice. But to ignore all the data would seem to be a very foolish decision. If there is one takeaway, forgetting about all the politics, misinformation, and big money influences, is that we should seek to reduce or minimize our sugar intake. And that will take a little willpower because it's everywhere and we just love it. See all the links to articles, podcasts, and other sources below, and subscribe to get notified when we post new content. Until next time, reduce your sugar and improve your odds.